This is the 2026 Nissan Armada Platinum Reserve. And in today's Vehicle Visionary video, I'm going to give you the ultimate tour. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today I borrowed this Armada from my friends at Orr Nissan in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you would like to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video. Now, while this model is rear-wheel drive, four-wheel drive is available. We're going to find full LED lighting here on the front end with our LED headlights. You'll have the LED high beams, the LED daytime running lights, also the LED turn signal indicators, and LED fog lights. And a couple of different finishes here with some matte finish, body color, some chrome, and a gloss black finish with the upper grille. We'll have a little bit of that chrome working its way across right here with your Nissan logo prominently placed right there. 22-inch wheels. And when it comes to your side view mirrors, everything you want is going to be here. They're going to be heated. They're power adjustable. Turn signal indicators are built in. You will have your blind spot monitoring. And let me open the door so I can show you this last feature that I know a lot of people like to know about. They're also going to be power folding. All I did was push the button right there, and that allows those to fold and unfold. We're going to have our passive entry buttons on the door handles, one right here on the front, also on the rear. You'll have that on the driver and passenger sides. And there is a key in the key fob itself. In case the battery dies in the key fob, you need to unlock your Armada, you can do that right there. Speaking of the key fob, let's get that out and take a quick look. You've got remote start, lock, unlock. You've got the ability to open and close your power tailgate, several ways to actually do that, and then you have your panic button right there. And we'll find the body color assist steps. Now, these are not power assist steps, but they are here. They're affixed in place. They're going to get the job done. And it gives the Armada a little bit more of a aggressive look with that being down there, just making it look a little bit lower to the ground. You've got your two-tone with your colors right here. The Armada logo is going to be right here. We'll find a panoramic sunroof, which I will show you from the interior in just a bit. And there is a rear window wiper back here. It's just neatly concealed away right up here in this area. And we'll find our LED tail lights. And the lighting does go all the way across right here. Takes a little break right there and then comes all the way across right here. This model is equipped with a Class 4 hitch receiver for your trailering, and you can tow up to 8,500 pounds. On this Platinum Reserve, you will find electronic adaptive air suspension, and under the hood is the 3.5-liter turbocharged V6 that puts out 425 horsepower and 516 pounds-feet of torque. That's going to be mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission. How about your potential MPGs? 16 city, 20 highway, 18 combined, and 5.6 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. The gas tank size comes in at 23.8 gallons. On a full tank of gas, you could potentially drive 378 miles in the city. That number, when you get out on the highway, jumps to 472 miles. It's the same thing as what we see with the MPGs, your potential MPGs on the window sticker. They're not guaranteed. You might do a little bit better, you might be a little bit below, but there's a lot of variables that factor into whether or not you're going to achieve those numbers. Earlier in the video, I mentioned there are multiple ways to gain access to your rear cargo area, including the remote. There's a button on the tailgate itself. You can kick your foot right underneath the bumper right there, and it will open. There's also a button in the driver's area. And how about your cargo capacity? 20.4 to 56.3 to 97.1 cubic feet. That is going to be determined by what you lower. We're going to have the buttons right here to lower these rear seats. We'll lower those on down. So I just push the button and it goes down on its own. I like that. Now the middle seats will go down as well. As you can see, there is a difference between the second and third rows where maximizing your cargo space is concerned. You can only lower the middle seats with the buttons right here, but with your buttons right there, you can bring the third row back up automatically. And you'll find a little bit of storage space underneath the floor right here. That's always handy to have. There is a spare tire located underneath the rear of the vehicle, something that is always going to be convenient, bringing peace of mind as opposed to having a tire repair kit in the absence of a spare tire. There's most certainly no shortage of room or space anywhere in the second or third rows. A lot of space with the armrest. It's nice and comfortable. I like that it's completely flat. We have the large door bin right here, and there is the kick plate. That's going to be illuminated. You won't be able to see that. We might see it later on if we can get into a darker atmosphere. I'm going to try. We'll see. And these seats do recline, as you can see, depending on how your passengers want things to be set. There is the panoramic sunroof I talked about earlier. There is a power shade. It can be drawn forward to keep too much sunlight from coming in when so desired. The front portion will open, and to gain access to the third row, we have the release right there. So all I'm going to do is pull up on that. That gets the seat up and out of the way. In a worst case scenario, here is the leg space. Yeah, that would be a little bit tight, but you know what? It's still not bad back here. However, the seat is still reclined. These seats do move back and forth, so there is the ability to increase leg space for your third row passengers. And speaking of reclining the seats, these third row seats recline too. And so we can move that back and forth if we so desire to do that. We're going to find a USB port right here. Obviously, we'll have the same thing over there on the other side. A couple of cup holders right here. Nice large windows, very easy to see out of. Oh, crap handles in the third row. I haven't seen that in too many vehicles. That typically is in the second and first row. And we'll find the roof-mounted air conditioning vents. I like that these are so close to the passengers instead of having them way down here, per instance. That makes a big difference. And there is your reading lights, the lights that will help illuminate the interior. There are quite a few. You can see the other lights above the door right there. And obviously there are lights in the front seat area. For those who are curious to know, what is the difference? How far can you move the seats up? The middle and left side seats are all the way back, and the passenger side seat over here on the right hand side is all the way forward. In case you're wondering, here is the release. There is one on each, all three seats, where you can move those back and forth as needed. And one more little trick to know about if you want to lower the seat backs right here, there is the release that will do that. And then obviously you can just set these back up. Now they do end up in kind of an unusual position right there. You can use the lever right here to change the position of the seat backs. And since I'm billing this as the ultimate tour based on the title, I better make sure I show you that there is a 120 volt power outlet here in the rear area. If you're looking for additional leg space, more than the third row offers, the second row will definitely do the job. It does depend on where the front seats are positioned, but even with them further back than they are right now, there's still a lot of leg space back here. As I mentioned earlier, there is the air conditioning vent, and we'll find some seat pockets on the back of the seats and the command center for everything that you have back here, including fan speed, temperature, heated seats right there. And you can set everything accordingly as you need to. We'll find a couple of USB ports and a 12 volt power outlet. There's your 12 volt, in case you were wondering about that. We'll also find the fold down armrest with the cup holders built in. I do wish more automakers would, instead of having these parallel to one another, that they would be vertical like this. That way you can still use this area as an armrest when there is a drink in each holder. And let's talk about the passenger side seat here in the front seating area. Plenty of room again with the armrest, a larger door bin, very comfortable seating. And something that's nice here is not only are they power adjustable, heated and ventilated, you'll have your adjustments here for lumbar support, and these are massage seats. So literally everything is here. We'll find the pass-through right here, a little bit of storage there, and another 12 volt power outlet, not hurting for connectivity here in the interior. And there is the glove box. With the air suspension, you can raise and lower the rear area back here, depending on your needs for cargo. That's going to be done via the two buttons right here. And it's that time of the video, the reward for those of you who are patient And don't skip around in the video. I'm going to give you the sticker price. Don't tell anybody in the comments section who says, what's the price? Tell them to watch the whole video. It's $83,830. Let's hop inside here and see what else you get for the price. We're going to start everything up here and let you see what happens. Going to have some animated graphics. And we'll find the rear view camera mirror, your digital mirror. We can turn that off like that if you need to and use it as a conventional style mirror. And you can make adjustments here with the mirror depending on what it is you want to do. There are several different things. You've got the menu here. So depending on what you want to do, you can make your adjustments accordingly. Home link is right here. This is where you're going to push the buttons to open your garage doors. You can program up to 3 to your vehicle, to your Armada. Here's where you're going to open and close the power shade, which, by the way, I did close that just so you can see how that looks. And here is where you're going to open and close the sunroof itself. We're going to have more lighting, as I mentioned earlier in the video. And you're also going to have camera views for the interior in addition to the exterior. And something that at this price point, it better be here for over $83,000, almost $84,000. It's something very simple, but when you don't have it, it's often something you think, why isn't it here? That's your sunglass holder. Here on the driver's side door, one thing that I believe is missing. Now you have seat memory right here, but it's not on the passenger side. This being the trim level that it is and the price point that it is, I think it should be on the driver and passenger sides. That's just my thought. Everything for locking and unlocking your doors, your adjustments for your power mirrors, and then we have everything for our power windows here, and you can lock and unlock the windows. And you will find auto hold right there. That's your brake hold mode. You come to a complete stop. The brakes do not disengage until you touch the gas pedal again. And your power parking brake right there. We're going to find some of our safety features. And there's that button I told you about earlier in the video for opening and closing the power tailgate from the driver's seat. Here is the control for adjusting the positioning of the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescopically adjustable. You have all of your steering wheel mounted controls here. And right here on this top trim level, it does come with turn signal indicators and complementary blinker fluid. You'll have a full reservoir of that, courtesy of Nissan. Okay, I'm being a little facetious there and smart aleck, but yes, that is here. That's going to be standard on all trim levels. And you can turn your fog lights on and off right there if you want to do that. And your steering wheel mounted controls, everything's pretty easy to deal with here. One thing you may not see that you're looking for is the button for your heated steering wheel. It's right down here. So if you want to turn that on, there that is. I would sure like to see a ventilated steering wheel sometime in the future. Now, while we're down here, here is your drive mode selector. So what I'm going to do is just run through those drive modes real fast here just so you can see what they are. There is snow. We're going to have standard, eco, and sport mode. We will also have our tow mode. You can even see your drive mode selector right there, just in case you need to know what that drive mode selector looks like on the driver's display. Kind of interesting, but there it is. And a very nice modern look with the instrument cluster. Definitely gets the job done. You have your shifter paddles here on the back of the steering wheel for working your way back and forth through the 9-speed automatic transmission. Control for your front and rear window wipers right here, and everything for trailering, your trailer brake control right here. Depending on how you need to set that, you can do that all right here just to show you how all of that works. Pretty easy to figure that out. I probably don't need to show you. And here is the center screen. You can see that you have your built-in navigation. Now, it's not an overload of sub-menus and some of the things that we see with some of the competitors of the Armada. You do have quite a few different things you can go into right here depending on what you need to do. If you need version information, system information, license information, all that's going to be right there just to show you a little bit of what's here. There's your Play Store. If you need to get any additional apps, and you do have Google Assistant here, so tell me a joke.
Why did the baker become a thief? Because he needed the dough.
Yep, we can laugh at Google, not with Google on that, but I didn't want to say, hey, you know who, and set off devices in your house, although I can do that and have a little bit of fun with that if I wanted to, but we're not going to do that. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone here. That's easy to deal with. You have Alexa. You have your garage right here. You can log in to do that. I'm not going to do anything with that at the moment. Now, let's go to dash cam right here. I'm going to show you, you do have the built-in dash cam, and you can record an event. You can set up everything as you need to right here. You can take a photo. You also have the inside camera views. Hey, there we go. I can wave at everybody now. I'm actually on camera today. And depending on what you want to see, there you go. You can do the inside view. You can do the outside view, just so you can see that. I told you about that earlier, but I wanted to actually let you see it just so you can see what's going on. Now, as far as your settings go, here are all of your settings. You can see what all you have right here. You can customize menus. You can do whatever you want to, but it is not complicated to use. Now, if you want to adjust the sound of the radio, you saw what I touched right there on the screen to do that. You can see what all you have right here as far as adjusting bass, treble, all of that's going to be here. There's a lot going on, including the fact that you have ambient lighting. Now, this is one of those things where I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to get somewhere where I can show that to you, but we're going to try and do that when we get out on the test drive. And if you're wondering, well, hey, Tom, how do I adjust my ambient lighting? I knew you were going to ask. So we're going to settings, we're going to vehicle, and here you'll see interior light. This is where you're going to come to do that. Now, you can adjust your accent lighting and make some changes there if you need to. If you want to make that brighter or dim that down a little bit. And we can do the same thing here with our ambient lighting. Now, there are quite a few different options here depending on what you want. So if you want a certain light, you can adjust that. You've got everything to light, discovery, passion, harmony. You've got additional right there. Now, this is where you can come in and really customize things to a certain color depending on what you want. Blue always shows up the best, but I'm not seeing it real well here at the moment. We'll try and fix that later in the video if possible. If you don't see it, then you know that I wasn't able to do anything with that, but there is how that works. You can adjust your brightness if you need to. You can also do the front only or the front and the rear. This depends on your personal preference. Now, you'll notice right here that we have everything for air conditioning. In fact, we have our heated and ventilated seats. We can sync everything together. You can turn things off. And you can also turn the heated steering wheel on here if you want to, or turn that back off. And we're going to have a similar setup here over on the passenger side. Obviously, you can't turn the steering wheel, heated steering wheel on and off right there. But the good news is that you also have all of your controls down here, physical controls for the air conditioning. So don't let that scare you away and think that it's only in the screen. It's not. You have everything here for your ventilated seats and your heated seats. You can turn on your front and rear window defoggers, fan speed, temperature, dual zone climate control. We have 3 zones of climate control, as you saw earlier in the video. Now, the one thing that I am curious about getting your feedback on, this is your shifter. So when we go into reverse, that's going to bring up our cameras. We do have multiple camera views, as you can imagine, depending on what you need to see and where you need to see. You saw that you have that overhead view. We also can zoom in and zoom out right there if we want to. There's your overhead view. So some nice camera views depending on what you need to see around you. But we'll go into neutral right there, or we can go into drive. But that is your shifter. Some people like that, some people don't. I'm always curious to know what everybody thinks as far as that goes. And we can raise and lower the height of the vehicle right here, depending on what you want to do. That's what that button is for. We also have the button to turn the auto stop start on and off. Here you will find a couple of USB ports and your wireless charging pad, a couple of cup holders, and we'll also find the cover if you want to conceal all of that away. Here is the center console, plenty of space within that area. Kind of hard to see with that in there. That is a little tray right there that you can put in the center console if you so desire to do so. As I teased earlier in the video, I was going to try and get into a darker atmosphere just to show you some of the lighting here. So here is what we have with the rear lighting. We will be able to see the illuminated kick plates, or door sills as they're often referred to. And something else I wanted to show you is how bright the interior lighting is. Now, this is without showing the ambient lighting. This is just your interior lighting, but it definitely does a nice job of illuminating things after dark, making it very easy to see what you need to see. And I don't know how well you can see the ambient lighting here in the front seat area. We'll try and give you the best view possible. It's not as bright as I would like for it to be, but it is here. This gives you a little bit better view right here. And there is also ambient lighting in the rear seating area, so it's not just in the front. How about the driving experience with the Armada? Well, it's enjoyable to drive. You definitely feel large and in charge. And I know a lot of people are going to say, gee, Tom, I wish it'd give me back that V8. Can't blame you for that. But the 6-cylinder does do a great job of getting you down the road. No shortage of horsepower and torque. That's a fact. And depending on the driving mode that you need, well, you can select accordingly, and that will take care of you. So very easy to see out of. That's one thing I love about these nice tall windows. So easy to see out of, but you obviously have your rear view camera mirror, the digital rear view mirror right here, and all of the great safety features that come with these Armadas. Things that are as simple as blind spot monitoring built into the side view mirrors, but all of the other features that let you know what's going on around you, in front of you, behind you. You have the multiple camera views. There's a lot here. You have the built-in dash cam. It's all here, and it's a very nice experience. Comfortable ride quality. The driver's seat is nice and comfortable, and between the adjustability of the driver's seat and the steering wheel, you definitely won't have any trouble positioning yourself as the driver to where you're nice and comfortable and able to do everything you need to do to stay that way for long periods of time. Now, you may not have the tightest turning radius here, but you know what? Not too bad right there. So we made it around in our little U-turn area, and getting up to speed is not a problem. We're not going to push too hard here, but you will find yourself being able to get up to speed quickly when you need to, when you're merging into fast-moving traffic on the interstate or passing a slower-moving vehicle, such as what we have right here. We're going to go on around them. I'm not going to go too crazy in doing that, but it's easy to do. If you were on a 2-lane highway and it was safe to pass, you could put the pedal all the way to the floor and you would definitely get down the road with no problem whatsoever. The technology here is easy to learn and use, at least in my opinion. Some people might say differently, but I think it's easy to deal with. I don't think it's an overload of technology. And everything is easy to get to from the driver's seat. I have so much space left over to adjust things if I needed to. If I was going to be driving this Armada regularly, I would make more adjustments than I have. But since we're doing a short test drive, I'm not going to go too wild with that and do too much. But overall, a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. Comfortable and easy to manage brake and gas pedal. It's always nice to get into a new vehicle that you're maybe not used to and not have overly aggressive braking. You do get a lot of features, and while the price is rather high, you do get a lot for that price. Something else that I wish I could show you, but I can't right now because, well, I don't want to take the camera down while we're sitting here waiting for the light to change, but you also have traffic sign recognition. There's a lot of information that you can have displayed on your head-up display. And there it is, the 2026 Nissan Armada Platinum Reserve, the Ultimate Tour. I know we didn't cover every single little detail. We tried to hit the high points, but hopefully it gave you a good idea of what you're going to be buying if this is something you plan to buy or something maybe you already did. I would like to say a special thanks to my friends at Nissan in Shreveport, Louisiana for loaning me this Armada for the day so I could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That's very helpful to me. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.